So welcome to part 2, episode 2 of the Gen AI course, where today I'm going to be showing you how you can use ChatGPT for your benefit. If you haven't watched the first part or the first episode of this Gen AI course where I showed you how you can use Sora to create amazing, visually amazing aesthetic images just by using text prompts, then go ahead, watch it. I'll have it linked in the top right hand corner of your screen or in the description down below. So go ahead, check it out. An awesome video, and I think a lot of you loved it as well. Now, getting to the main point, you'll see that if you have watched the Sora video, a lot of things are similar between Sora and ChatGPT because both of them are OpenAI's products. Now, recently I did make a video about how to prompt ChatGPT properly and the specific structure of your own prompt, and nothing is new about that. It's going to be the same thing, and it's the same thing which I'll be explaining in this video as well. But if you want to skip over that, then either you can watch that video where I explained it, or you can keep watching this video because I'll keep on explaining more things and more areas of ChatGPT which will obviously help you out in the future. Now, before I actually get into the whole prompting and creating the cool stuff with ChatGPT, let's go over the actual interface. So there have been a few changes between the interface and the last time I made a video about ChatGPT. So basically, from the looks of it, it looks quite similar from previously, but on the left hand side we have all our chats, starting with at the top new chat and everything else over here, which I'm going to explain later on in this video. Down here you have GPTs where you can either make or create and even join different GPTs and use them creatively. I am using the free version today just because I know majority of people use ChatGPT on the free version, and so if I were using the paid version, then a lot of you guys won't be able to copy me in this course, so that's why I'm using the free version just for you. And again, down here you have all your chats, which I have probably hundreds of thousands of, and I've used ChatGPT for many different reasons, many different occasions. Right here in the middle you have your text box, and this is where you can basically ask ChatGPT to do anything, nearly everything. So if you hit the plus button, you have of course more options of adding files, creating images now, which is not linked to Sora. This is a little different. You can do web search if you're a student, then deep research, even more, such as making it think longer. Usually ChatGPT takes around 2-3 seconds just to give you an answer, but if you have the thinking icon selected, then it'll think longer and basically give you a comprehensive answer towards your question. Now over here you can actually see a few new icons, one of them being your year with ChatGPT, and this is something very recently that ChatGPT launched last year December, where you can see your overall engagement with ChatGPT, which is really awesome. Above it though, I have the Canva icon, and the reason I have it and you might not have it is because I have actually connected Canva to my own ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you what it can do because it's actually amazing. So keep watching this video till the very end and you'll see what ChatGPT can do with Canva. Now let's get over to the actual prompting side of things. Now in my previous video where I mentioned and I showed you how to prompt ChatGPT, it's the same as always. The structure that I shared with you in that video was basically define, explain, resist, right? So just going over it briefly, define meanings, define the concept of what you're trying to ask, meaning define who ChatGPT is. If you are, let's say, a content creator trying to find ideas for your content, your YouTube channel, then you can say to ChatGPT, well, you, ChatGPT, are a professional content strategist, content creator, a social media marketer who has years of experience and is really able to understand the trends and what's really going viral in the content space right now in whatsoever niche you're in, and blah 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 blah, right? So that's where you define ChatGPT, who it is, what it's gonna do in the next few parts of your chat. Next is explain. Now you define who ChatGPT is. You're going to explain your problem or your query to ChatGPT, and then you're going to go ahead and further on develop on how it's supposed to answer your query or your question. So going on with the content creator concept, once I've defined ChatGPT that it's a social media marketer with 10 plus years of experience, I'm going to say that as a content creator myself, I'm having trouble finding content ideas which will go viral in the business or finance niche. and I don't know who my target audience is, and I'm struggling to find content that will intrigue my target audience. So in this case, you give ChatGPT clarity on what your problem is, and you give it different ways of how to explain and solve that problem. Now, once you've explained your problem, and again, this is why I'm going through this very rapidly, is because I've already explained everything in the previous video. So again, watch it in the description down below or in the top right hand corner. Lastly, you also want to make sure that ChatGPT doesn't give you the wrong answers. Wrong answers meaning sometimes we want ChatGPT to answer the question in a particular way. And most of the time we forget to actually tell ChatGPT to not give us such information, right? So the last part of this is resist, and resisting just means that you tell ChatGPT what not to do when giving its answer, right? So you just give it like a bunch of do nots, like do not give me fake information, do not give me random websites or references from your answer, do not give me anything that's AI generated or sound data AI generated, such and such. So this way, once you give it a whole prosperity of how you want your answer to form, it will sound more authentic, it will sound more human, less AI, and you will get the answers you want. So that is basically how you're going to prompt ChatGPT, and I can show you, but again, this is not what this part is about because I've already made this video. So this is basically how you should prompt ChatGPT for every single time you want to ask a question. Now, for someone who is new to my channel and you're watching me for the first time, then I will show you the actual prompt and the structure that I use, although I did explain it, but I will show you on screen right now how I usually do it. So here's a prompt that I just wrote about ChatGPT generating lyrics for my future songs if I was a songwriter. First paragraph, I've stated that who ChatGPT is, what its expertise is. So I've said, you are a unique and professional songwriter and producer who has been creating, writing, composing, and singing songs for over a decade. So if you want, you can mention the timeline, but the more you can mention, the better. You have all the experiences in the world with what music goes viral and what won't, which notes are best at which pace, and which music is best suited for specific occasions and events. So you're basically tailoring ChatGPT as to this is your identity, this is who you are, this is where you're going to be for this chat. Next paragraph is I give it context, I give it clarity of who I am and what my problem is with creating music and all that. So I run a YouTube channel and I've been creating content for 3 years consistently. My biggest pain point when creating and editing my videos is I struggle to find the proper soundtrack that will fit with the vibe of any of my videos. So that's the problem that I have with soundtracks. And so this is next paragraph is where I make sure that ChatGPT knows what I want from it. So I've said, hence, I have a solution of utilizing Suno AI to create me AI generated music, and I need to make sure that you, ChatGPT, know what type of soundtracks I want for my video. And I ask you to help me craft proper specific prompts for Suno so that I can get the right music possible. And down here, the resist bit is the do not. So do not generate soundtracks that aren't tailored to my taste. Don't generate music lyrics which don't match my vibe, and don't generate AI-like music. So this is basically how you want every single chat to go when it comes to prompting. If you decide you want to add a bit towards it, you can. This is the whole framework of how you can prompt ChatGPT first of all into giving you the best results possible. And if you use this, by far, you'll be surprised at how good ChatGPT responds to all of your instructions. So that was the prompting part of it. Now I'm going to show you a few other tips and tricks you can do with ChatGPT. Now, I mentioned that I had Canva connected to ChatGPT. And the reason why I did that is because, well, I was having trouble making thumbnails for my videos. And I thought, why don't we make AI make the thumbnails for us? So we're going to try make a poster for a shoe brand on Christmas sale, right? So you know how a lot of people, when Christmas comes, they have promotions for their products. We're going to make a Christmas sale product promotion for a shoe brand. And the way we're going to do this is by, first of all, connecting our awesome Canva down here. So we've selected Canva. If you don't know how to link Canva to ChatGPT, all you have to do is go over to this app section right here. You go over to app section, you try to find Canva, which is right here, and you click on it and it will say connect to ChatGPT, and it's just a simple click and it's already done. And then once you've done that, you can click start chat and you can start chatting with ChatGPT, but linked to Canva. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go again, and it's going to show up down here so you can easily select it. So now we have Canva enabled, and so whatever you type in here, if it's a relevant design which can be created by Canva, it will automatically prompt Canva to create this, and you'll see the image come up somewhere here. But let's see, let's create this prompt. Right, so I have done this before, so I just copy pasted the prompt over here from my previous time I used it. And so it's not as same as when you're trying to ask a different question. This is sort of a different prompt which I've written here, and I'm going to go through it with you. So first of all, you don't specify to ChatGPT what you want because of course it's connected to a software, Canva. So it already knows that it's going to be generating images. So you don't have to say you are a professional graphic designer who has years and years of experience, blah, 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 blah. You don't need to mention that because it already knows that it's going to be creating images for you. You can start off by saying, well, I want you to create an Instagram post, a YouTube thumbnail for a shoe brand called EXP. I just gave it a random name. And so what I did was I gave details about what I want to see on the Instagram post. So I said that I wanted to see a black and white shoe on the center of the post, and I said it's a Christmas sale happening on 25th December, and I said I wanted a big 60% off shown on the poster so that everyone knows that it's 60% off because it's Christmas and most of the branding colors being used in Christmas sale posts or advertisements are red, blue, and white. So I said use a combination of bright red and dark blue as the brand colors, and you can of course give some bit of creativity to this. So I just said the shoe should be in the middle and on an angle. So instead of having just a generic shoe, just sitting on a table or something, you can have it floating in the air or someone tossing it up. And if you want, you can mention what font you want to use in the poster, but I didn't mention it because I want it to be generic. And at the end, I just said it has to be enticing so that the viewer is ready to buy the shoe. In fact, I'll just write that right now. So once we've written our prompt, we're just going to click enter, and it's going to do its magic. So it's always going to be connected to the app once you give it a prompt about giving a design. Okay, so I waited around 10 minutes and finally ChatGPT generated this image, and by far it looks absolutely amazing. You see, as I mentioned, I wanted the big black and white shoe in the poster floating, 60% off, big bold right there on the side using a big font and having this shaded red color as the background. Christmas sale, 25th December, so that everyone knows that it is a Christmas sale. And at the bottom we have the logo, which I just mentioned, EXP, as a random company. And you can see that there's so much detail in this. You can see snowflakes as well, just to indicate that it's winter time for Christmas. And again, black and white shoe, although they sort of copied the Nike logo. I don't know why I did that. But again, as a designer, as someone who has created a lot of thumbnails, a lot of Instagram posts, this by far is very, very highly professional. And for professional, it would take probably quite a long time just to make something like this. It took 10 minutes for ChatGPT just to give Canva the prompt, and it made it this good. But that was it for this episode. If you really enjoyed it, then please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you think that you're really enjoying this course, then share it with someone who hasn't yet used AI or doesn't know how to use AI. Share it with them, and make sure you watch and keep up with the next few parts that are coming, because there's more parts coming. And I'll see you in the next one.